We have Jeremy Fowler here with us in the studio to give us some more insight on the Cowboys. And Jeremy, the next game for the Cowboys is going to be Week 1 at Philly on Thursday, September 4th, the defending world champs. What's the team saying about the possibility of having Micah Parsons play in that game?
They're trying to stay optimistic. Despite all the posturing, all the game playing with Jerry Jones and the Cowboys, Dallas still feels like Micah Parsons is getting himself ready to play Week 1 and that there's still a chance that they can find a long-term deal and extension somewhere despite the lack of real substantial contract talks. They believe that closer to 10 to 12 days in, they can figure something out. One source equated to Nick Bosa a couple years ago with San Francisco. He signed like 4 days before Week 1 kickoff. They got a deal done. Sometimes these things are ugly. They take turns. Now, meanwhile, Dallas has gotten multiple inquiries from teams on a potential Micah Parsons trade. There is definitely interest. They're not really entertaining it, though. They want Micah Parsons in uniform. Does he want to be in uniform? Is a big question.
Well, he was taking a nap on the sideline last night, so
yeah.
Just pay the man already. All right, so we have also had a trade within the conference. Brian Robinson, I mean, he has been with Washington for a minute now, been that guy over there, but now he's heading over to San Francisco. So why was that trade put together?
Well, for San Fran, it was pretty easy. They were decimated by injuries in their backfield behind Christian McCaffrey. So they just wanted depth. They wanted a strong goal line, short yardage back who can get you some touchdowns. So B-Rob walks in there in a good situation. They paid a little bit of his $3 million salary, but Washington covered some of it. Win-win for San Fran. And for Washington, this crystallizes their backfield. They really like the rookie Bill Krosky-Merritt. When you talk to people over there about their offense, he comes up early and often in conversations. Austin Eckler's your third down back. They have some depth behind him that they like. So it's going to be a by-committee approach. They realized that Robinson wasn't in those plans. So they made a quick move and got a 6th-round pick out of it.
I also think it's fascinating how Brian Robinson Jr. is on that team, the same that Pearson, but he was on that team as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so final preseason games are today. What is the Browns' plan at the quarterback position against the Rams with them opening against Cincy?
Yeah, so they're close to finalizing their plans in the quarterback room. They could keep 4 quarterbacks, but today could be a determining factor depending on how it goes with the rookies. Joe Flacco will get some reps. They're thinking 20 to 25 reps for the starters in the 3rd preseason game. And then you go to Dylan Gabriel, who get the second crack at it, the rookie 3rd-round pick. And then you got Shedeur Sanders. He will get some run. Kenny Pickett still hurt, so he's somewhere in this equation, but he's been banged up for really the last month. So the question is, do the Browns carry him on the roster? Did maybe put him on short-term IR, give him 4 weeks to start the season? But the feeling right now is they like how Gabriel and Sanders are developing. I don't expect them to trade either one. They're going to roll through the weekend, see what these guys can do. They like what they're doing.
All right, Jeremy, appreciate your insight, brother.
p.m. Eastern tomorrow afternoon. Much of the conversation in L.A. has stemmed around the health of Matthew Stafford as he works through an aggravated disc. But there's plenty of quarterback conversations happening in Cleveland with one of the more interesting rookie classes. Both teams unbeaten in the preseason. Someone's got to lose as we take a look at this matchup. And for more on the final weeks of the preseason, we welcome back our NFL writer, John Breach, and our NFL veteran D lineman, Lige Douzable, to the program. Guys, good to see you both. Let's start with Joe Flacco and the Browns because we're going to get a good look at what this team will look like in Week 1. The starters are going to get some playing time here in the finale. Lige, I'll come to you first here. How buttoned up are you expecting the Browns to look tonight or tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm excited for the starters to play. They haven't played. Joe Flacco and the frontline starters haven't played. And Haley, it's always interesting to see the philosophy of different coaches, right? Kevin Stefanski feels like he wants to put his starters out there 2 weeks before the season to really rev them up to get ready for that opener. So when I look at the starters, I want to see a clean operation and also get your playmakers involved early. David Njoku, Jerry Jeudy, those are the guys I want to see get involved early for this offense. We haven't seen Joe Flacco the entirety of the preseason, but this will be his opportunity to build that camaraderie, not only with the offensive line, but the playmakers on the outside as well.
Yeah, absolutely agree with Lige here. This is exactly what you want to do with your Kevin Stefanski. And look, the coaching philosophy around the NFL is completely different with every coach when it comes to preseason. Some coaches like to play their players, some don't. In this situation, it absolutely makes sense because you have Joe Flacco, as Lige noted, has not played in the preseason so far. This gives them a chance to make sure their operation's in sync. You got to do the huddles. You got to get the plays in from the sideline. There's a lot that goes on besides actually handing off the football and throwing the football if you're Joe Flacco. Now, yes, Joe Flacco is 40 years old, and everyone in Cleveland is probably going to be holding their breath every time he drops back to throw the ball. But the other good news here for the Browns is that They're playing the Rams. And if there is one coach who always keeps his starters on the sideline of the preseason, it is Sean McVay. So this is kind of the perfect warm-up game. You're probably going to be playing the Rams' second-team defense, third-team defense. So this is where, if you're the Browns, you go out there, Joe Flacco, play one or two good possessions, end the preseason on a high note, and get ready for week 1 against the Bengals.
Of course, everyone remembers 2023, Joe Flacco, over 1,600 passing yards, 13 passing touchdowns, had 5 starts in a crazy year for Cleveland. We'll see what 2025 looks like. If we continue, though, the quarterback conversation in Cleveland, guys, we know the pecking order is going to be Flacco, and then we get Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur coming into the game third. John, are we reading into any tea leaves here too much, or is this just another opportunity to separate the competitors from the entertainers?
Well, who knew we would be talking about a competition between the 3rd quarterback on the depth chart and the 4th quarterback on the depth chart? But this is high drama in Cleveland right now. This is absolutely a big situation. This gives both quarterbacks, because yes, they both played in the preseason, but we have not seen them both play in the same preseason game. So this gives each guy a chance to kind of take a step ahead of the other guy. If you're Shedeur Sanders and you go out and play well against the Rams and Dillon Gabriel kind of struggles, that's a great argument for you to move up the depth chart heading into week 1. And of course, we know that Kenny Pickett's injured, won't be playing tonight, but maybe Kevin Stefanski watches this game and says, you know what, maybe one of these guys, one of these rookie quarterbacks needs to be the backup, the number 2 guy heading into the regular season. So even though this is the 3rd preseason game and they're not going to be starting on Saturday against the Rams, there is certainly a lot of pressure on each of these guys to perform well against the Rams.
Yeah, Breach, it'll be interesting to see how they view Kenny Pickett, because he has been banged up and hasn't played all preseason. And when you look at it, to me, this comes down to the backup role between Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. You already mentioned it. Dillon Gabriel will go in first, and people will make bones about what the depth chart looks like currently. But you got to remember, Dillon Gabriel was a 3rd-round pick, so he's going to get the advanced chance to potentially become the backup before Shedeur will. And you see Shedeur Sanders' numbers versus the Panthers. To Breach's point, he didn't play in the 2nd preseason game versus the Eagles because he had an oblique strain doing that cross practice with them. So this is an opportunity for both of these young guys in this 3rd and final preseason game. They'll probably both get a quarter and a half each of gameplay to really go out there and solidify themselves and show Kevin Stefanski, if you need to call my number, I am ready. You can't worry about when you're getting your reps. You have to take full advantage of when you get your reps. So if you're Shedeur, if you're Dillon Gabriel, this is your opportunity. We haven't seen Kenny Pickett. Could he not be on the roster when the season starts? Could he be a trade guy? We don't know, but you have a full opportunity in front of you in this 3rd preseason game to solidify and let your head coach know, if you need me, you can call upon me and I'll be ready to go.
Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. That is an age-old saying in sports.